Long questions in the environmental management need to build a strong argument relevant to the different aspects of the questions. So in this sessions, we are going to overlook the different aspects to build a strong argument to secure the full marks. So we're gonna see there's one question: are the advantages of the living in an area of active volcanoes greater than the disadvantages? Give reasons for your answer. Now, in this way, there are the different components of these questions. So this question, we will break into the different component. The number one, advantages. Number two, disadvantages. Number three, peripheral argument. And number four, conclusions. So we are supposed to briefly discuss about these different factors. If you see that the marking scheme, so there is the guideline in the marking scheme, like we're supposed to put advantages such as the geothermal source of energy, or fertile soil, or source of mineral, or tourist destinations. And there are also the source of increase of income. What about the disadvantages we supposed to put, like risk from lava and the lahars or ash clouds or pyroclastics, so which are the life-threatening conditions. Now, we also discuss a little choice as nowhere to move to. So these are peripheral argument. So if we see that the marking scheme, so the four different components are very explicitly explained. Number one, the advantages. Number two, the disadvantages, and peripheral argument and conclusions. We are going to go through the overlook about these different advantages first. If you look at the advantages, the area containing the active volcanoes have core energy available near the earth crust, which can be harnessed as geothermal energy resource, and which increase the job availability, economic development, and the source of low price electricity. Now, if you're going to look at the geothermal source of energy, so that is our one idea. And second, why this advantage is helpful for the people or attractive for the people to live in this region. So we have to build strong argument like it is the source of jobs availability, number one, economic development, number two, or the source of low price. So in this way, this point will become more stronger. Now we're going to move to the next point or next idea, the availability of fertile soil due to the emission of lava from the volcanoes, which contain high minerals. So fertile soil is the best source for cropping and agriculture. So that is the reason, that's why the majority of people, they love to live in this region. So we can also build the argument here, like if there is a fertile soil, so there are more chances of a cropping, which increase the crop yield. So we can also build this argument. We're going to move to the next one, the fertile greenland of volcanoes with plateaus enhance the scenic beauty of the land, which attract the tourists from all over the world. And these tourists bring the foreign exchange, which boosts the economic activity, sources of income for residents, for example, the more jobs, and the high availability of the precious stones. So in this way, we can build the argument like the people love to live in this region. Why? Due to the more tourism. So if there are more tourism in this way, if there is more tourism, more tourists will come and bring the foreign exchange. This will provide the many sources of income for the local people. And that's also a source of development of the region, and which also improve infrastructure of that region. We can build the relevant argument. So in this point, we have done the advantages, and we are going to see the different disadvantages relevant to this question. Now that's the second part, the disadvantage contrary of above. There is also the risk of volcanic eruptions and emission of lava and pyroclastic like dense and fast-moving flow of solidified lava pieces, which are hazardous and life-threatening. In addition, volcanic ash clouds and hot gases are injurious for health. Now here we build up the different arguments relevant to the life-threatening condition and the hazardous for health. So we can build at least like one or two arguments. And in this work, one or two arguments, we can also give us some kind of breathing diseases as well. So that will be our supporting disadvantages. But we need to be careful regarding disadvantages. So it should not overwhelm the advantages. So the disadvantages should be lower than to the advantages. So here we can build the relevant argument. Their weightage should be less as compared to the argument, as compared to the advantages. Now we're going to move to the peripheral argument. Some families living in these areas for many generations, so their traditions are linked with their motherland, while others have low resources to relocate. So in this way, that will be the advantages and peripheral, the argument. We can move to the last statement. This is our conclusions. A large number of advantages overwhelms the disadvantages. That is why the majority of the people are inclined to live in active volcanoes area. So if there is a large number of advantage overwhelms the disadvantages, that is why the majority of people still love to live in these areas. So we can build this argument on the base of the R argument previously we have mentioned. We can also represent with that like a large number of advantages overwhelm the disadvantages, like availability of the jobs and more tourist attraction, the scenic beauty of land, availability of minerals. So we can give these the reference in the conclusions, and we can build our conclusion in a short way, briefly, but based on the given advantages and the disadvantages, what we have mentioned before. So that is the conclusions. So I can move to the final. So in this final, that will be look like that, and you can build the strong discussion and argument on the base of that. So beside of the further different technical points, we can also generally analyze about the mark distribution. If you're gonna design your argument on the advantages, so there will be for example, the 1 mark for the one advantage, and for example, the source of geothermal energy, or number 2 is the source of fertile soil, or number 3, that is the source of scenic beauty which attract the tourist, or number 4, the peripheral argument, or number 5, we can write the disadvantages relevant point, and number 6, that will be the relevant conclusions. So there will be the marks on the relevant conclusions, and in this way, if you can build the whole argument successfully, you can easily secure the 6 marks. Hope it will be helpful for you. Thank you.